Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. It's Friday, November 1st, 2024, and these are your Unbiased Updates. The presidential campaign heads into the final weekend, what Donald Trump and Kamala Harris said out west, and where both nominees are headed next. Also, incredible flooding cripples a country in Europe, the epic amount of rainfall in Spain, and now the frantic search for survivors.
From the Straight Arrow News Studio, bringing the stories that matter to you from across the United States and around the world, these are today's Unbiased Updates.
With just 4 days to go now until Election Day and more than 65 million Americans already voting early, the presidential candidates are making their final stops on the campaign trail. On Thursday, both nominees visited the West Coast to make their case. Republican nominee, former President Donald Trump, speaking at campaign events in New Mexico, Nevada, and Arizona, while Democratic nominee Vice President Kamala Harris held rallies in Arizona and Nevada. Speaking at an event in Glendale, Arizona, with former Fox News host Tucker Carlson, Trump repeated his stance of there being an enemy within the United States, a comment Harris has criticized in her speeches.
If you have a smart president, somebody that knows what's happening, you're going to be fine. But, we do have an enemy from within. We have some very bad people. And those people are also very dangerous. They would like to take down our country. They'd like to have our country be a nice communist country or a fascist in any way they can. And we have to be careful of that.
In Henderson, Nevada, Trump said Harris would not be able to handle the presidency, calling her, quote, a child when it comes to understanding the economy. He also announced former presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy would be working, quote, on health and women's health if Trump is elected. While in Reno, Nevada, Harris continued her warnings to supporters about another Trump presidency, calling Donald Trump, quote, increasingly unstable and obsessed with revenge.
And in less than 90 days, either he or I will be sitting in the Oval Office. And listen, here's what we can imagine, right? We've all seen on TV, you've seen the Oval Office, but here's the thing. We have to get the word out to help people even just visually imagine what that day will be. Because if elected, Donald Trump on day one would walk into that office with an enemies list. When I am elected, I will walk in with a to-do list on behalf of you.
The vice president telling the crowd that people are, quote, exhausted with Trump's rhetoric, and turned to female voters, criticizing Trump's comments that he would protect women, saying, quote, Trump does not respect the freedom of women. Harris's Nevada rally was interrupted by protesters at times, with the vice president saying it's okay, and, quote, we're fighting for the right to be heard. Today, both candidates will hold rallies in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, as the final weekend of the 2024 election cycle begins. Some famous faces put their names behind their pick for president on Thursday as the candidates secured more celebrity endorsements. A majority of the cast of Marvel's Avengers film franchise assembled to show their support for Vice President Kamala Harris. Actors Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, and others gathered together in a social media video.
How can we be of service?
Well, how about we start with what our voting plans are going to be, who we're going to bring to the polls with us, that sort of thing.
I think Kamala Harris needs a catchphrase.
Ooh, yes, definitely a catchphrase.
How about this? I'm just off the top of my head. I can do this all day.
Shut up.
I hate it. Okay.
NBA superstar LeBron James is also backing Harris in a post on X saying, quote, when I think about my kids and my family and how they will grow up, the choice is clear to me. Vote Kamala Harris. Meantime, social media influencer turned boxer Jake Paul putting his endorsement behind the Republican nominee, former President Donald Trump. In a video posted to his YouTube channel, Paul laid out his reasons and asked his followers to do their own research.
Regardless of your emotion, I'm just presenting you with facts. Do I think Donald Trump is a perfect human being? No, I don't think anybody on this planet is a perfect human being, myself included. And to be frank, I'm not concerned with Donald Trump's character flaws or what he's done in the past. What I'm concerned with is how good of a president is he? Because that is his job, and that is what's going to affect the people of this nation.
These endorsements come on the heels of two others. Buzz Aldrin, the second man to walk on the moon, endorsed Trump on Wednesday, while former Republican governor of California and Terminator actor Arnold Schwarzenegger said he is voting for Harris. The U.S. Supreme Court has rejected independent presidential candidate Cornel West's bid to make Pennsylvania polling places tell voters he is also a candidate and they can write in his name on Election Day. West accused the Pennsylvania Secretary of State of improperly keeping him off the ballot for not filing all the required paperwork. While the state's top court agreed with the Secretary of State, a federal judge said while it does seem like Pennsylvania rules make it harder for third-party candidates to get on the ballot, it is too close to Election Day to reprint ballots and retest election machines without increasing the risk of error. Justice Samuel Alito, who handles appeals originating in Pennsylvania, refused West's emergency appeal on Thursday. In Spain, crews are continuing the search for people who remain unaccounted for after the country saw its worst flooding in decades. 1 year's worth of rain fell in just hours this week in the country's southern and eastern regions. The images are incredible. Flash floods claimed the lives of at least 158 people, with 155 deaths confirmed in the eastern Valencia region alone. Spain's Minister for Territorial Policy said Thursday dozens of people are still missing, but they do not have an exact number of how many. An Army specialist is now under arrest and facing charges in connection with the murder of a fellow soldier. Investigators accused 21-year-old specialist Wooster Rancy of murdering 23-year-old Sergeant Sarah Roque, who you see here. They found her body in a dumpster at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri last week. Rancy, who is with the 5th Engineer Battalion, is also charged with obstruction. The Department of Army Criminal Investigation Division, which is the primary federal law enforcement agency of the United States Army, is overseeing the probe. The department has not specified a motive for the killing. It is also unclear if Rancy and Roque knew each other. Finally this morning, Google has some new competition. OpenAI has added a search function to the artificial intelligence bot ChatGPT. Paying subscribers are now able to activate a mode on ChatGPT that makes it respond to queries by searching the internet for the latest information and summarizing what it finds. The search capabilities are powered by Microsoft's Bing search engine and will draw information from articles by publishers that OpenAI has deals with, including Wall Street Journal owner News Corp and the Associated Press. Again, this function is only for paying subscribers for now, but OpenAI says it plans to bring search to all users eventually. Those are your unbiased updates for this Friday. We'll see you back here on Monday morning, hopefully well rested. Don't forget to set your clocks back 1 hour on Saturday night. Daylight saving time ends on Sunday. For all of us here at Straight Arrow News, I'm Craig DeGrelli. Have a great weekend.